Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha. Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahakali Rupena Samstita. Namaste 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namaste 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahasaraswati Rupena Samstita. Namaste 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 Namo Namaha. Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 22nd of November 2025. I want to offer my prostrations. Ananta Koti Namaskara, Ananta Koti Dandavat Pranam, Ananta Koti Pushparpan to the Supreme Paramatma, Parabrahma, Parameshwara, and to all the great sages who have lived in the past, who are present today, yet to come, and to the one Paramatma, Ishvara, Sarva Bhutanam, residing everywhere in all places, at all times. We are continuing to examine Gnan Shakti, Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti in connection with the Ishwar Pranidhan. Ishwar Pranidhan is to relinquish the Ahankar at the feet of Shri Bhagavan. And भगवान के जो भक्त है, जो भगवान के जो बड़े बड़े संत है, भगवान की जो शक्ति है, उनको हम समर्पित हमारा अहंकार कर सकते हैं, कर सकेंगे तो कल्याण, परम कल्याण की प्राप्ति होती है. So today I want to examine this Gnan Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Icha Shakti in relation to what Bhagavan Krishna has said about himself in chapter 10 of the Gita, Vibhuti Yoga, verse number 28. Okay, so I'm going to do a Padched here for you, show you the words, or explain them here one at a time. It goes like this. It begins this way. Ayudhanam aham. The first two words are Ayudhanam aham. Ayudhanam aham. Right? Vajram. So of all the weapons, the three words, Bhagavan Krishna says out of all the weapons, how many weapons are there in the world today? Kitne weapon hai, right? There's guns and knives and bombs and this. Incredible number of weapons are there. And they keep developing new ones, all kinds. The Bhagavan Krishna, he talks about weapons. Very interesting. This is chapter 10, verse number 28. You can look it up, 28. The Bhagavan kya kehte hai? Ayudhanam aham vajram. Let's stay with this point first. Out of all the weapons, I am the Vajra. The Vajra is what? Is thunderbolt, right? The Vajra is the weapon that is held by Indra. It's the most interesting word actually, and it's the most fascinating thing. The Vajra is the weapon of Indra, Indradev. Now, why is Bhagavan Krishna saying this? There's an interesting history behind it. The Vajra was made from the bones of Rishi Dadichi, Dadhichi, who sacrificed his life to defeat a Rakshas. It represents the hardest substance in the universe, capable of cutting through Agnan. थोड़ा ध्यान इस पर बहुत important बात है, interesting बात है. Vajra is a weapon in the hands of Indradev. That Indradev is a Devta, so he had to engage in a war to destroy some Asura. I don't know the name actually. But how was that weapon made? From the bones of the Rishi, Dadiji. Dadiji is a Mahapurush, सिद्ध पुरुष, दिव्य पुरुष, बड़े बड़े बहुत ऊपर लेवल के संत थे. और उनके शरीर में जो बोन्स थे, उनके the bones were so intense and so powerful that they had to be used as a weapon to destroy the asura. It's the most fascinating historic. probably historical. I don't think it's mythological. It is historical, and it is a spiritual, highly spiritual event in the past. This is even before Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Now, how many weapons are there in this sansar? Incredible number of weapons. But ye jo topmost weapon hai, this is the topmost weapon. It is in the hands of Indra Devata. And Bhagavan Krishna says, out of all the weapons, I am that Vajra. My goodness. What a statement this is. Ayudhanam aham Vajram. Let's break it down carefully. Let's make this applicable to our lives. We want to reach Jivan Mukta Sthiti. We want to reach Prema Bhakti. This word Vajra is the master key to reach both. One word, literally one word in the Gita, chapter 10, verse 28. Ek hi shabd hai that will take us all the way to the top. When we make our lives, our mind, our consciousness, our buddhi, our speech, our taking inward breath, outward breath, our physical movements of the body, every single action, mental, physical, verbal, every single thought, every single wave of experience, taranga, we make it as strong as possible. Strong meaning the strength is so intense that the entire brain, spinal column, body, brain, body, mind, everything that we are, it becomes absolutely like a thunderbolt. It becomes Vajram. It becomes a weapon. Our body, our mind, our senses, everything, it becomes a weapon. Weapon for what? To hurt somebody else? No, not like that. Not in that physical sense necessarily. Maybe they're in some war or something. That's a different matter. We ourselves, in fact, this entire body, mind, senses, everything that we are, it transforms into a weapon, just like Dadiji Rishi, who was such an evolved sadhak, saint. वो सिद्ध बन गए थे, वो महापुरुष बन गए थे, उनमें इतनी ताकत थी that his bones had to be used to kill the Rakshasa. What does this teach us? What does this show us? Our strength, our bones, even our physical bones, our physical body needs to be absolutely healthy as much as possible. Point number 1. Make it healthy. Take all the right steps to get it healthy as much as possible. Talk to the doctors, talk to nutrition people, do the research, make the changes that are needed. Don't delay. We talk about all this in our Angel Wing program. This one word Vajra, isme pura science hai. One word is enough. See how it goes. Make the body extremely healthy. Don't delay. Start right now. This moment, start right now. Don't delay. Point number 1. Point number 2. Make the mind, our antakarana, man buddhi chit ahankar, हमारा जो अंतर का जो life है, internal life, the mental life, emotional life, make that into Vajra. The thoughts, emotions, memories, desires. And Shakti, that is the Vajra, meaning the solidification of the strength of the mind. Strength of the mind and the body together, that is so powerfully maintained. How is that possible? By stopping completely all energy damage. This is how Dadiji Rishi became Dadiji Rishi. This is how he became Siddha. This is the teaching from this. That our life, our bones, our mind, everything we are becomes a weapon in the hand of Indra, and that weapon itself is Sri Krishna. एज अ विभूति, वो भगवान की विभूति बन जाते हैं. हम स्वयं भगवान की विभूति बन जाएंगे. Have you ever thought about this? Has anybody ever heard this before? If you have, I would like to hear somebody say, yes, Sachin, we've heard this thing before. Vibhuti, we go to the temples, we put the vibhuti on I have vibhuti on my forehead right now. इसका मीनिंग क्या है? इसका बहुत अद्भुत मीनिंग है. बट विभूति योग इज चैप्टर 10 ऑफ द गीता. द इंटायर चैप्टर इज अबाउट भगवान के जो ऐश्वर्य है, भगवान की शक्ति है, भगवान का जो महिमा है, भगवान का जो एक्सलेंस है. भगवान क्या कहते हैं श्री कृष्ण? इट इज आई एम द टॉप मोस्ट इन एवरीथिंग. Whatever topmost you find in the sansar and in the whole Brahmand, 14 lokas, the topmost, that is me. Whatever topmost experience we have of anything, I am there. That is me only. Meaning that is me in the form of that experience. For example, if once we make our body and mind synchronous and very, very tuned and healthy, that we become a vibhuti of Sri Krishna. क्या बात है, अमेजिंग बात है, एब्सोल्युटली अमेजिंग. वज्रम, आयुधानम, out of all the weapons, so many weapons are there in the world, but भगवान के हाथ में जो वेपन है, नॉट ओनली उनके हाथ में वेपन है, श्री कृष्ण सेज आई एम द वज्र. But that Vajra is used to destroy the Rakshas. It is not used to harm anybody else. Look at what is happening in the world today with all the weapons. एक दूसरे को मार डालते हैं. इसको वज्र नहीं कहता, इसको अज्ञान कहते, इसको राक्षस कहते हैं. ये राक्षसी वृत्ति है. I know there's धर्म युद्ध and for defense, वो सब political सब प्रश्न है, but राक्षसी वृत्ति का नाश, जो राक्षसी वृत्ति का नाश हो जाएगा, उसका ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा, then the Vajra becomes active throughout the world. Now the energy that is used in the weapons of the world to hurt each other, and कितना इकोनॉमी इसमें सब चलता है because of this weapons upon weapons upon weapons. कितने लोग मार डालते हैं, क्या सब चलता है. If it just imagine for a moment, it transforms. That same Shakti is used for the benefit, to benefit and light up the world, light up humanity. That is called Vajra. Ayudhanam aham Vajram. That intelligence is not there. Or human beings live in ahankar. Politicians live in ahankar. Countries live in ahankar. That's why they damage each other, hurt each other. उनको कुछ प्रकार का ज्ञान नहीं है. अच्छी वृत्ति, good quality वृत्ति of ahimsa, this is missing. That's why there is incredible amount of money, time, energy, effort, training spent on building the weapons to destroy each other. That is not Vajra. Oh, no doubt, when extreme situations, Arjun was taught to fight and all that. That is, I'm not talking about that. वो तो है ही. But that was the last option. There was nothing else, in that war, that Mahabharat war. Even Bhagwan Krishna went as Shanti Dut, only asked for 5 villages, and they wouldn't give anything at all. Then at some point, then a weapon has to be picked up. But even in that situation, this concept of Vajra becomes active. The intention is not to hurt anybody. The intention is to destroy adharma. That's a whole different subject. I don't want to go into that right now. But the point here is that Bhagavan Krishna says, I am the Vajra, meaning this is a vibhuti. And that vibhuti, why he is telling Arjuna this? He says, you recognize the topmost weapon, that is, and because that weapon was used by Indra Devata, made out of the bones of Dadichi Rishi. He sacrificed himself. Remember, I keep saying every day, संत के आगे किसी की भी equality nahi, because they sacrifice themselves completely for the sansar. Just like an incense stick that burns and gives fragrance to all, it burns itself. वो संत की स्थिति है, संत की वृत्ति है, संत का महिमा वो है. इसके इक्वल में कोई नहीं है. Nobody is equal to the enlightened saint. कभी भी नहीं आ सकते इक्वल में. भगवान स्वयं उनकी चरण रज की पूजा करते. भगवान स्वयं संतों की चरण रज की पूजा करते. For this reason, without the presence of enlightened saints, this entire sansar would be obliterated completely. उनकी दया कृपा से ये संसार रहता है और भगवान स्वयं उसमें वो सब कार्य करते हैं. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. It's very, very amazing. You see, so when Bhagwan Krishna says, Ayudhanam aham vajram, aham vajram, that when a sadhak begins to reach siddha ban jate hai, mastery. We talk about self-mastery in angel wing. Yes, mastery, self-mastery. Sthita pragnata, prajahati yada kaman, all kinds of conservation. The Vajra means strength. Where is that strength? It's inside of us. Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. When you combine these three together and without ahankar, with the strength, that divine power opens up of Sri Krishna, which is coming from Goloka. And Bhagwan kehte, I am that Vajra, that weapon, that actual weapon, that weapon that is in the hands of Indra Devata. But where did that weapon come from? From the bones of the Rishi. When we realize complete energy conservation without damaging Antarik Shakti at all, not even a small piece of Shakti from inside is wasted, damaged or lost to Agnan, to any Rakshasi Vritti. When that comes about, bhakti it shoots up. Bhakti, the doorway into bhakti is opened by the weapon by the Vajra weapon. It opens right from inside. Usko krupa kataksha kehte. And that weapon is Shakti. वो दिव्य शक्ति है, वो भगवान की शक्ति है. It is a piercing out of the three gunas of Maya. गुणातीत सह उच्चते. भगवान का जो गुणातीत धाम है, दिव्य धाम है, उसमें प्रवेश होता है. We still live in this body, in this world, but in what way? Completely free. Free from entanglement, free from the influence of ahankar, of the three gunas, free from the trash of this sansar. Or the trash of the sansar is left aside, is put on one side, and the juice of the sugar cane is drunk. That is bhakti. Leaving that stalk of the sugar cane on one side, that is Jnana and Vairagya, and drinking the juice of the sugar cane, pure juice, that is bhakti. And that machine that separates the two, that is the Vajra. Simple analogy. From the sugar cane machine we can learn Brahma Vidya. We can learn from items around us, we can learn Brahma Vidya. They become gurus for us. The sugarcane machine with those spinning wheels, you put that huge sugarcane stalk inside there, and on the one side the juice comes out. But look at the energy that is present inside that machine to squeeze out that juice. Once the juice is squeezed out, the stalk goes back into nature. It's not hated or anything. इसका से द्वेष नहीं है. It needs to be separated out. तो वो जो जूस का आनंद मिलता है, सुख मिलता है, भक्ति का आनंद कैसे मिलेगा? When the Vajra becomes active completely, that Vajra was used by Indra Devata to destroy Rakshasas. तो ये जो अंतर के राक्षस है, अंतर के जो राक्षस है, इसका संपूर्ण नाश वज्र करता है. वज्र मीनिंग परम शक्ति, भगवान की विभूति है वो, और भगवान स्वयं इसको एक्टिवेट करते हैं. एंड ही रिमूव्स, it's like that machine, right? That sugarcane machine is available. The stalk is there. You put it right, the stalk in the machine. इसका कनेक्शन होना चाहिए. It has to be turned on. Electricity has to flow inside. That is Mahashakti. If you don't have that machine flowing, everything is there, the machine works, everything, electricity नहीं है, क्या करेंगे? कुछ भी नहीं होगा. And that machine has to be constructed right way, the positioning, everything has to be balanced in the right way. Then the sugar cane will be squeezed out. Similarly, our mind, brain, bodies, it's like sugar cane machine. That's it. Sugar cane machine कैसा है और हमारा जीवन कैसा है? When we make our life like the sugar cane machine that can squeeze out the amrutam, the nectar that is present in all experiences, and leave the stalk aside, leave the sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun का जो अहंकार है, अज्ञान, क्लेश, द्वेष, राग, अहम, ममत्व, all this trash that what doesn't belong, that leaving that aside is Vivek Chudamani. Adi Shankaracharya ji ka Vivek Chudamani ye hai. Entire Vivek Chudamani is explained in these points. Itna hi hai, itna mein is the biggest thing. When we become the sugarcane machine, Tattvamasi, to reach the Brahman, to reach Param Bhakti, that those two, the sugarcane machine has, as far as I know, it might have more, I don't know, but it has at least two of these wheels that are spinning in opposite direction, and then they're really close to each other, and they squeeze out the sugarcane. I think there's two. I don't know much about it, but I have to look at how many wheels. I think there's two. There might be more, I'm not sure. Whatever. But those wheels are Jnana and Vairagya. Jnana and Vairagya will squeeze out the juice. Or uska, people who love to drink how nice it is, right? Kitna joy milta hai. You have the beautiful, very nice tall glass, of the very nice sugarcane juice, and they put some certain masala or whatever inside there. It is 100%, it's got sugar and it has water. But the stalk is gone. So what is that sugar? That sugar that is inside the juice, that is bhakti. What is that water? What is that water? That is the sugar flowing. The water has gotten completely absorbed with sugar. We don't call it water, we call it sugarcane juice. We are the water, and the sugar, the sugar inside the sugarcane is Paramatma. And so that sugarcane machine is the Vajra. That is who we are. Make our mind, our brain, our senses, every experience, minute to minute, hour to hour, make it in such a way that our antarik shakti is not wasted by kam, krodh, lobh, moh, matsar, asha, trishna, irsha, ahankar, rag, dvesh, mera, tera, chal, kapat, klesh, all this incredible number of faults. Isko sab leke phek dena. Bari nakhu. This is what we call havan. इसको अंतर का हवन कहते हैं. बाह्य हवन भी है, अंतर का भी हवन है. इसको यज्ञ कहते हैं. इसको लेके इसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर देना. Who is going to destroy that? भगवान स्वयं इसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते हैं. But कब, when that happens, when we want to drink only the purest and the most intense ananda, when we want to be in that engrossment of divine love. कितनी सुंदर बात है. आयुधानम अहम वज्रम, aham vajram. He says, that's me, Bhagwan Krishna. ये विभूति योग का क्या, it's worth contemplating. Sometimes people who read Gita, we read it like it's, you just have to good, do all that. बहुत अच्छा करो. इस पर मनन करना चाहिए. ये क्या अर्थ है एक एक शब्द का. And bring it inside, then it has meaningful. It's not simply, just think of it this way. If you have 100 stalks of sugarcane in some store somewhere, you can appreciate, it's kitna sundar sugarcane hai, ye hai, wo hai. And you keep talking about it and talking about it. It's great to take a couple of stalks, put them inside the machine and drink the juice rather than just looking at those stalks. Looking at these verses of the Gita, and you can appreciate that. Have we drank anything from there? The person keeps analyzing, writes books on the stalks of sugarcane, has never even tasted the sugarcane juice, the pure juice. Has not even put even the sugarcane in the mouth. Kuch bhi nahi. Anubhav hi nahi. Bhagavad Gita is for Anubhav. It's not simply to be repeated and chanted and intellectual analysis, and that's wo sab initial part hai. It has to be drunk. Drink it, that's it. Very simple. And understand how to drink this thing. Vajram, take this word, Vajra, इस पर ध्यान. आज की साधना यही है कि हमको वज्र बनाए भगवान. हे प्रभु, आपके हाथ में जो वज्र है, that is इंद्रदेव के हाथ में वज्र है. पर भगवान कहते हैं मैं ही वो वज्र हूं. एंड वेयर डिड इट कम फ्रॉम द सेंट फ्रॉम द संत के शरीर में से जो बोन्स है उसमें से वज्र बनाए. इसका मीनिंग क्या है? बी कंप्लीटली स्ट्रांग फ्रॉम इनसाइड. डोंट गेट डैमेज्ड बाय द मैडनेस ऑफ द संसार. People are so torn apart because somebody dies. So what, somebody dies? Don't shed one tear even. There's no need to shed any tears. We're shedding tears not because we're missing that person. That is our ego only. I'm sorry to say that. Amara hi ahankar, I miss you so much. I, me. You want to shed tears? Bhagwan ke aage rona. Not for these people of this world. Everybody's going to go. Unke aage kya shed tear karna hai? There is a maha agnya, these people crying at the funerals. It should be a celebration, not crying कि भगवान के धाम में वो गए. उस आत्मा के लिए प्रार्थना कीजिए. Don't shed tears and waste energy. Waste time, energy, this and that. It's our ego only. Nothing about prem bim कुछ भी नहीं है. It's all fake nonsense. Sorry to say that so openly. इसमें प्रेम है ही नहीं. इसमें अहंकार है. ममत्व है, अहंकार है, not प्रेम. Prem really hoga, so you would celebrate the person's life and you would yourself be in a state of joy. The body has left aside, the Atma Tattva has gone further, and blessings for that. Atma is anitya. I'm sorry, Atma is nitya Tattva hai. Iska nash to hota hi nahi, aur hamara swarup Atma Tattva hai, not this body. तो किसके आगे रोना? अशोचानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाष्यसे गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिता. Chapter 2, verse number 11 of the Gita. Bhagwan Swayam कहते, Sachin isn't saying anything. He says you're crying, you're lamenting over all these people. They're already gone. Bhagwan Krishna, chapter 2, verse 11. That is where the Gita's teaching starts. किसके आगे रोना? People are crying at funerals. This is only aham and mamatva. It's not love. Sorry. If you cry at a funeral, that is not love. That is your ego. That's what that is. Yours or mine or anybody else's. Celebrate the person's life. Recognize the Atma Tattva. Bhagwan ke bhakti mein doob jaye. Hamari internal attachment is so unbelievable. This person is mine. Nobody is ours. Bhagwan Narayan ke siwaय कोई हमारा नहीं है. ये सीधी बात है. ये वज्र जैसी बात है. वज्र ही है. ये बात ही वज्र है. When we realize कि मेरा कोई नहीं है और मेरा सब, everybody is mine and I'm not stuck anywhere. Functionally with love and affection, do our duty. हमारा कोई नहीं है. कौन किसी का है? How much do we remember our great grandparents? How often we think about even our grandparents? Somebody passed away from our family. The father of this body, Sachin's body, passed away 3 years ago. As time goes on, we think of him less and less and less. फिर कुछ भी नहीं याद रहता. Oh, okay, he was there, this and that. We are concentrated on our own ego. We can cherish his life, not lament his loss. When I think of my father, I'm just using that sentence in this way, father of this body, I want to live this life to glorify his life. Not to keep crying behind his loss. ये मेरा अहन है, अहंकार है. ये मेरा ममत्व है. ये कुछ प्रकार का प्रेम नहीं है. Sorry to say that. ये प्रेम है ही नहीं. There is not love under any circumstances. We use this love for this. ये शब्द का अपमान है. ये वो प्रेम नहीं है. Real love doesn't have a boundary. The Sachin said, this is my father. The ego is grabbing hold of a person, of a form. This is mine. Yes, to some extent, functionally okay. But when we are awakened into the Vajra state, everybody's mine. That is the thunderbolt. और वो असुर का नाश कर दे. What is that आसुरी वृत्ति? ये अहम और ममत्व, यही असुर है. इसमें से ही सब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आते हैं. How many people are fighting over wills and property after somebody passes away? Think about that. The same people who are crying. There was an incident that happened in Delaware. I'll tell you this is unbelievable thing. I saw this. I won't give obviously the name or anything. But there was a mother-in-law who was very old. And the daughter-in-law, she was staying with the daughter-in-law and the family and all. And the person was quite old, and she was literally counting the days when this person will be gone from this world. Itna hatred tha, itna klesh, dvesh, this, that. Oh my God. And that same person who hated that person was at the funeral crying and crying and crying and crying. And so many other people, it's like a big drama. Like, what the heck is going on? All of you people hated this person. Now you're crying for the loss as if there's like intense love. Kitni murkhta hai ye sab. That's not love. That is probably guilt and shame and blame and who know, all mixture, itna mixture sab destroy kar dete hai shakti ko. Isko prem nahi kehte. किसी के साथ द्वेष नहीं रखना. When a person is alive, do the maximum for that person at that time, rather than crying and wasting time at the funeral. कितनी मूर्खता है ये सब है. When a person is living, love them with all your heart. Do seva, do bhakti. Matru devo bhava, pitru devo bhava, guru devo bhava. What is the point in crying after somebody is gone? Then the only thing that happens afterwards is what was in their will and how much money is left for me, what property is left for me, and then the fights begin. Come on, let's be realistic. This is not human life. इसको जो भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं, आयुधानम aham vajram. When we meditate on this, we become a Vajra. That Vajra is the grace of Shri Krishna Paramatma to remove all of this nonsense out of our life. Then Amrutam shines, Bhakti shines, family unity becomes absolutely powerful. If you have a unified family, that becomes Vajra. They can handle anything that comes. When family breaks apart, everything breaks apart. And actually whole humanity is one family. That's the bigger idea. But the immediate family, isko Vajra banaiye. Don't cry over people passing away. Murkhta ye sab hai. Take that energy and if you feel like crying, take a murti of Sri Krishna or Bhagwan Shankar, unke charanon mein pushpa rakhna, bilva patra rakhna, and chant 51,000 mantras and get rid of that crying being sab nash kar dijiye. Iska ye ahankar hai, ye mamatva hai, it's energy damage only. So strict baat kar rahe hai. This is the fact. To cry over people who are gone, everybody's going to go. Bhagwan Krishna Swayam, he's saying Ashochan Anvashochastvam. You're lamenting over people that are all everybody's going to go. You're speaking like a Gnani. He's telling Arjuna, but you're not a Gnani. Gnani kaun hai? Who recognizes everything is Anitya. Because it is Anitya, do your best in the time that is available with the people that is there. Rag, Dvesh, Aham, Mamatva chhod ke, Prem rakh ke, और वज्र बन के क्रिया करो. वज्र बनो. आयुधानम, weapons. Out of all the weapons, we use language. See, another example. We use language in such a way towards somebody else that causes pain to somebody else emotionally. ये बहुत बड़ा पाप है. कभी भी ऐसा language नहीं, not to use language as a weapon to hurt somebody's emotion. In fact, when we use language to assist others, to wish well for others, that is the weapon of Sri Krishna, active as compassion, as amrutam. That is also a weapon. When we use good quality language, beneficial language, helpful language, even though there's difficulties going or whatever, but when we are using that language without causing disturbance from inside, that is the Vajra that is active through the language, through the speech. Gunatitanand Swami कहते हैं, स्वामी क्या कहते हैं इसमें कि शब्द जेवू कोई बलवान नहीं. There's nothing more powerful than words because the whole humanity runs on words. कितनी सुंदर बात है. When we use our hands, when we use our hands for mantra jap, that is Vajra. वो वज्र तैयार होता है. We're building the Vajra by Krupa. कितनी amazing बात. Misuse of money is another point. Abuse of money, misuse of money. What does that do? That creates attachments, damage. The right amount, the right use, in the best way, that is Vajra. We have friend circles, family circles, we have interacting people. Interaction में कैसा होना चाहिए? By intense strength that also has humility, aham shunya bhav. When you combine the two together, that is Dadiji Rishi. His body is made, the bones were used to make that weapon, right? Intense power, Bhagavad Krupa, bahut shakti, and complete aham shunya bhav, sacrificing oneself for the sansar, for the benefit of others. Kitni difficult baat hai. How that's possible? People get a little bit of shakti here, some energy here, some whatever, some wealth, some aishwarya, they're flying high. Ahankar kitna badh jata hai. As one progresses in life, the ahankar diminishes and dissolves. That is Dadiji Rishi, that is the Vajra. And Bhagwan kehte, that Vajra is me. Extraordinary. बहुत extraordinary बात है. It is 9 o'clock, so let's stop here. Try to stick to time. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu Swaha. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.